Welcome to Subramani. Everybody tells you today that behavioral finance is the new thing, right? I mean, it's become old by now, I guess. But largely, being wealthy or being rich is not so much about money as it is about mindset. Let me just tell you the difference that I see. I see a young couple, they must be now 32, 33. And that guy has always been cribbing, saying that I don't have money. But I saw him, he was in a 25 lakh rupee car. And I don't think his CTC is about 25 lakhs perhaps, or slightly under that, which is not a bad salary. It is a huge salary by Indian standards, but of course at 35 it's not so great. His wife is also earning, but maybe she's earning a little less. Maybe she's earning about 15 lakhs. So between them, they make 40 lakhs a year, which is very high salary by Indian standards. And they don't seem to be having enough money to buy a house. So just to satisfy their parents, they bought one house in the outskirts of Pune. And they're paying an EMI on that. But other than that, they don't have anything to show in terms of assets. Of course, I think he's doing some SIP advised by his sister, who is a banker. And some money he has, but he can't make any big down payments. He can't buy a house in, say, Mumbai for 2 crores where he has to make a 50 lakh down payment. Extremely doubtful whether he'll have 50 lakhs spare cash. What really happens is, when you meet a lot of people, then you see a complete difference in attitude among many of them. So the first person who says that I can't afford it talks more sense than a guy who says, oh, I'll just charge it to my credit card, which means they don't even know that in the credit card they're going to pay something like 42% interest, because they're going to pay it only as the minimum EMI, right? Now that is really huge, right? So yes, so one things like that, or an attitude saying, oh, I have tried everything, mere se kuch nahi hota hai, I can't do anything. Can you make a CV to get a new job? No, actually the work which I do is so different than saying I can't make a CV. You can't make a CV and you still want to be employed? That sounds very funny. Spending extra on cars. Then another amazing thing. I think investing is too complicated. I don't know how to start, and therefore I have not invested. What is your age? 35. What does your dad do? He's just retired from a very big automobile company. And what was he doing? He was doing SIPs. If your father was doing SIPs, why can't you copy? I have no clue, right? So largely you see many of these younger people, I mean, when I'm saying young, I'm not saying 23-year-olds, but even 35-year-olds who are perhaps even afraid to start a family because they still think of themselves as kids, because they have not organized their financial life, so it is intimidating. 40 lakhs per annum is not a small salary, it is a huge salary for two people put together. And you can't buy a house, you can't do SIPs, you can't do, I mean, it is quite stunning as far as I am concerned. And I meet the other set of kids who say, I can't afford this, right? And they would drive maybe a 8 lakh rupee car or a 7 lakh rupee car. They would have gas fitted in, which means then they will say, sir, it is cheaper to use my car when I'm going with my family than to use 2 auto rickshaws or things like that. They get down to such detailing about their lives, and you know who is headed where. So you meet one of these kids, or maybe he's earning 20 lakhs compared to this guy's 40 lakhs as a family. Wife is staying at home to look after the kid. His parents are there, her parents need attention, so she decided to quit her job. All that's fine, but they're living comfortably with that 20 lakhs. They've bought a house, they've finished the payments, they've created a retirement corpus. And what is the age? Maybe 35. And I meet both types of people. So I'm convinced about one thing. When you tell a person, you should be spending the money after finishing your investment. First, you should earn money. If you're earning a salary, it is anyway post-tax. And then you should invest and you should spend whatever is left. Now, depending on the reply that I get, I know on which path he is headed. If he says that and he believes that and he does that, he's clearly headed for creating his retirement corpus maybe by 45, 47. Or the other person is just going to work much longer for his retirement, right? So first thing is that, and second thing which I also think is important is buying too big a house and buying too many cars and too big cars, right? So you find people who will keep saying that they want to do business and things like that, but in the meanwhile keep on buying toys, which to me looks like an impediment to their retirement. You have to be very clear whether you want your retirement or you want your toys. You cannot have both. That is the only thing which a financial planner can tell you. A financial planner cannot make your money go longer. A blogger cannot make your money go longer. But I can tell you one thing, if you go and buy yourself a brand new camera costing 4.5 lakhs, you have perhaps delayed your retirement by 6 months, 8 months or 1 year, whatever. You have delayed it. I am not saying don't buy that camera. There are good cameras available. If you are a good photographer and you want all the equipment, go ahead, buy it. But do you justify buying a 4 lakh or a 4.5 lakh rupee camera for an amateur photographer? I doubt it. I'm sure a 30,000 rupee camera or a 50,000 rupee camera can do that job as well, especially if you're an amateur. Yes, as you get older in life and you've created all your corpuses, you have kids, you've paid for their education, you've repaid your home loans, that you're sitting with a lot of cash at that stage. So it's something which is an indulgence which can be done at a later stage rather than buying luxury products on credit cards and paying as EMI. So expensive toys, bigger cars than what you need. Don't say that, oh, when my parents come from my native place or from Bangalore and I'm in Bombay, I need a bigger car to pick them up from the airport and I need more boot space because they will have baggage. This is nonsense. Just for husband and wife going around, a small car will do. And on days when you have to go to the airport or come from the airport, you can always hire a Ola or a Uber or a regular taxi, whatever. It's not so difficult. So don't fool yourself by buying a bigger car and a bigger house. I think the problem is the way we compensate our brokers. For the broker, it makes sense to keep increasing the size of our budget. And also family has this habit of saying, Arey, when you're buying, you might as well buy a 3 BHK because you are going to buy only one house. Why do you want to buy a 2 BHK? Honestly, when you're young, if you're buying a house in your 20s, all you need is a 1 BHK. Once you have kids, maybe you go and buy a 2 BHK. Then if your parents move in with you, then you buy a 3 BHK. Beyond 3 BHK is indulgence. Don't do it until your retirement plan is in place. Once your retirement plan is in place, you can do whatever you want. So maybe by 45, if your retirement plan is in place, the amount is more or less in place, and you're very confident that next 15 years, both of you are going to retain your jobs and you're going to be able to contribute whatever is left. That's a great time to be moving into a 4 BHK, assuming you are not making you're not taking any loan. I don't think it's a very sensible decision at that stage to take a loan. So with this kind of uncertainty in the market, don't take loans beyond a particular age and be stuck with it. So maybe you sell off some shares and some mutual funds and buy the 4th bedroom. Otherwise, 3 bedroom is enough until your retirement corpus is clearly in place. Maybe $1 million, maybe 10 crores, whatever is your requirement. Keep that in place, and after that you can do all this. So basically 2 things, earn, invest and then spend, right? So EIP or EIS. Second, don't buy expensive toys. Third, your car should be pulled as much as you can. Can you use it for 11 years instead of 5? Can you use it for 7 years instead of 5? That should matter. And buy a car absolutely minimum which you need to use, because given the cities like Mumbai, Bangalore and even Pune, there is not enough parking available. So why would you want to park a bigger car and have on a day that you need a bigger car? You can always hire a bigger car. So it is not necessary to own a big car, right? Similarly, it is not necessary to buy a 3 BHK when you already need just as a 2 BHK. If you're just married and you don't have a kid, you've maybe decided not to have kids, you may not need a 3 BHK at all. A 2 BHK will work perfectly fine, because either her parents are going to visit you or your parents are going to visit you. And so one spare bedroom is available for the visiting parent or a visiting sibling or a visiting friend. You do not need a 3 BHK if you have decided not to have children, right? So don't do this. Don't buy assets beyond your immediate need. Whenever you want a bigger house, you can always sell this house and buy a bigger house. Or sometime when you have a lot of guests coming, maybe 4 guests coming and 5 guests coming, a club membership should allow you to put them up in your club, right? So think of those kind of solutions. Get your retirement plan in place, get your wealth plan in place, get your attitude right, and you're done. So wealth is more about an attitude than an amount of money. So there can be a 5 crore rupee net worth person who does not have any orientation towards wealth, but he may have inherited that money. And there could be somebody who's got much lesser money but got a better orientation towards wealth, who will go and create his own 5 crores. Thank you.